Fuchan Forest was peaceful with chirping birds, monkeys chasing each other on the bamboo tops and wild boars playing by the stream. Suddenly one day, the sound of a machine roared like thunder. A giant orange-yellow machine appeared, its head was attached to a giant circular saw blade, sparkling in the sun like a killer eye. It was the tree saw team, a group of 3 people, Uncle Ba Kwa, sawing rice, beer belly but agile. T2, small, running fast like a squirrel, specializing in climbing trees to remove bird nests before cutting. Map Luan, not tall, not thin, only knows how to smile. Their goal is to clear branches, clear paths, but not everyone believes they are good. On the top of the tallest tree, a pair of bright red eyes looked down. It was the white rabbit, a famous mischievous rabbit in the area. It whispered, "A saw. Just wait, I will show you what it means to protect the forest." Early the next morning, when the sawing team had just set up camp at the edge of the forest, the rabbit had already started its plan. It hopped around the camp, using its hind legs to kick over the oil can. Crack! Macluan's lighter fell to the ground, but it didn't light, only the smell of oil spread. Who the hell is doing this? T2 scratched his head. The rabbit hid behind a tree, grinning. It had written on the tree trunk with clay, "The forest doesn't need machines, the forest needs love." Uncle Ba Kwa said sternly, "It seems like someone is against us." The sawing team decided to set a trap with carrots. The rabbit thought it was real, jumped in, got stuck in the glue, but escaped in a split second. It ran like the wind. The sawing team chased after it with a mini saw. The sound of the saw echoed throughout the forest. Turn left. Go around the banyan tree. Eek! T2 is trapped. The rabbit ran and kicked the bushes, hitting the soapberry fruit on their faces. The forest became the stage for an action-packed chase. But in the end, all 3 of them were lost. The rabbit climbed up the tree and laughed loudly. To play with the rabbit, you have to be quick and clever. While chasing Rabbit, the sawing team got lost in an area of ancient trees. In the middle was a red cotton tree as big as a small house. Suddenly, the tree trunk shook. An old voice said, "Who are you to bring machines here?" The cotton tree could talk. All three of them turned pale. Uncle Ba Kwa stammered, We were just clearing branches." The cotton tree said sternly, "This forest does not need to be cleared. The forest needs to be listened to." Rabbit jumped down from the top, stood next to the cotton tree, raised his leg to greet. "Let me introduce, this is Uncle Long-Bearded Cotton, the oldest in this forest." Rabbit invited the sawing team to visit a bamboo grove that grew as thick as a wall. It said, "The shortcut to the stream is in here." But in fact, it was an ancient bamboo maze, where animals had built to avoid humans. T2 went in first, and 10 minutes later, Map Luen and Uncle Ba lost track of him. The bamboo rustled, and the birds chirped above as if laughing. Rabbit looked down from the top of the bamboo, playing a leaf trumpet in a jungle song. "Anyone who enters the maze will be lost forever, and anyone who is mechanical will have no way out." After getting out of the maze, after Dwarf Fat cried loudly, the sawing team reached the Roo-Ree stream. The water was clear but flowed in the opposite direction. "This stream is strange." T2 tried to step in, but was swept to the shore. Rabbit sat on the other side, waving his hand teasingly. "If you want to cross, you have to understand the forest, not destroy it." The whole team had to use banana trunks as rafts, swim across the stream using skills learned from the sailors in the forest video on their phones, catching signals from the tallest 5G bamboo tree. Behind the stream was a deep muddy field. The giant sawmill was heavily bogged down. The three men dug hard, but the more they dug, the deeper they sank. The rabbit appeared, holding out a map of the ancient deer trail. Thanks to following the instructions, they pulled the cart out without understanding why the rabbit helped. Uncle Ba whispered, "This rabbit. There's something strange about it." That night, the animals held a full moon party. Bears danced, monkeys sang, squirrels danced. The Saw team was invited. For the first time, they saw animals having fun without fear of people. Rabbit gave each of them a necklace made of wild vines, a symbol of people in harmony with the forest. Dwarf Fatty was tearful. We are guests, not troublemakers anymore. During the party, a sea crab living in the stream told a story. Once upon a time, a sawing team also entered this forest. And then disappeared. But one of them stayed behind and became the divine turtle. The sawing team was surprised. Was there someone like them who had changed? The next morning, the forest was quiet. Rabbit was missing. On the base of the cotton tree was a sign, Rabbit captured by KIL Forestry Company. A large truck tire mark was imprinted on the ground. A real company had entered the forest. The Saw team was angry. Not angry at Rabbit, but angry at the real deforester. The three of them used a chainsaw to drive to the abandoned lumberyard on the edge of the forest. They found Rabbit locked in an iron cage, surrounded by excavators, cutters, and giant chainsaws. Fatty climbed over the fence. Little Tiny jumped onto the roof. The three of them joined forces to use the skills they had learned to break the lock and rescue Rabbit in the middle of the night. Discovered, the saw team and the animals rush into battle with the deforesters, chainsaws collide with chainsaws. Birds swoop down to peck at lights, monkeys throw rocks, snakes wrap around the wheels, a rabbit drives an excavator into the woodcutter, causing it to flip over. The saw team wins, but is pursued. While hiding in the cave, a giant black shadow appeared. Gao Mok, the former forest leader, Gao said, the KIL company intends to turn the entire Fuchen forest into a fake tourist area. You guys are the hope, humans without destruction. The Saw team, along with rabbit, bear, and other animals, began a secret journey to the core of the forest, where the heart of Fuchen is threatened. They crossed the rainforest, swamps, and rotten wooden bridges. T2 almost fell, but was saved by a forest snake. They were stopped by the Scorpion machine, a new generation mining machine with giant iron claws that automatically recognizes large trees to cut down. Uncle Ba climbed up, attached the explosive sawyer, invention of the forest monkey, to the machine's socket. Boom! The Scorpion machine exploded. Forest Council, Rabbit, Bear, Crab, Bird, Saw Team and Cotton Tree, the Forest Covenant signed in tree bark, humans animals together protect the forest. No machine can win the heart. A huge storm hit the forest. Everything was devastated. Trees fell, the ground slid, but the Saw Team, now the Forest Guard, helped rebuild the nest, replant the seedlings, repair the paths. The next morning, Rabbit disappeared. On the stone slab was written in charcoal, "I will go to another forest to help there. Fu Chen Forest has enough good people." A month later, the sawing team was invited to appear on TV. But when the MC asked about the special friend, Rabbit jumped out from under the stage, the audience applauded loudly. Shorty cried. Years passed. Fujian Forest became the largest ecological area in the southeast. On the entrance gate there was a sign, "Hello, this is the forest of love, not of chainsaws." The rabbit sat under the kapok tree, smiling. Is the movie over yet?